Kia ora, my name's David Kinane and welcome to this latest tutorial from Sharp Kinane Limited. Today we're looking at the iOS app Shadow Puppet EDU, so let's get started. I'm going to open up my Puppet EDU icon here, click on this and we'll have a quick look through, so just tap on that. And here you can see this is the Shadow Puppet dashboard for the work that I've created before. And so let's just have a quick look through the interface. First of all, we're going to click in the top left-hand corner and click on the gear. And there's a bunch of things down here you can look at. Obviously, you can in settings here, we can look at save to the camera roll, auto zoom to square. We can turn that on or off. I'm going to leave it on. Auto play videos, so I'll leave that on. Show the watermark. I'm going to leave that off. Show image credits. That's always a good idea. And video size. What we do, you can click on this. By default, it's 480p. But you can set it to HD, and that's not full HD, that's half HD. But large is probably good enough for what you're trying to do. We'll just close that. Down the bottom here, you've got two tabs. You've got My Puppets in the dashboard, and you've got this Ideas tab. And that allows you to scroll through some templates that have been pre-created, and we'll have a look at some of those later for some ideas. But we'll just stick with a moment with My Puppets and then look at the interface. So it's just a quick way of being able to organize content into a sequence, add some text, add a title, record audio over the top. So it's a really good way for students to do some recount work, and this is what we're going to look at now. We'll start with the interface, and I'll show you how to make a simple shadow puppet and then how to save it. There are some options in Shadow Puppet, but the first and simplest is to simply create a sequence of images. So let's look at this first. I'm going to click on the green button in the top left-hand corner and create a new puppet. And before I create my puppet, I want just to draw your attention to what's on the left-hand side here. By default, it just links straight to your camera roll. So the students can have taken a picture or videos with the iPad as part of what's going on in class. But what's particularly interesting is the map and education search. You can search other internet-based databases, and for older students can create a much more interesting and much more dynamic puppet. You can also look at the Flickr Creative Commons and Wikimedia. There's the backgrounds. We'll look at those in a moment. And then down the bottom here are all your albums if you've been organized enough to organize your content on your iPad for the students to search. But in this first instance, we're just going to create a sequence. So in this example, there may have been some baking going on in class. So the students may have taken some photographs, and we're going to select those and use those as our first puppet. So I'm just going to click this sequence of pictures here. So I'm just going to click a few of them. Those are the ones that I want. But having looked at those pictures, I realize that I've actually clicked them in the wrong order. So no problems. Down in the bottom of the screen here, you've got two tabs. The green one is already good to go, clicking next, but we want to click on reorder. So I'm going to click on this. And we can just simply drag our pictures around the timeline to reorder them. So let's just reorder these. That looks pretty good. I think we probably need to do it this way around. That'll do. And so there we go. We've reordered our pictures. Click next. Before we start recording, we've got some options here. So that at the top, we can name our puppet. So I'm just going to call it Baking in Class. That's it. I've named it now. On the right-hand side here, we've got two options to add text and to add background music. So if we click on the text, we can type in here, baking a cake. And let's have a look at the options we've got with organizing this content here. So we've got fade in and fade out. You see it seems to have disappeared. So if I just tap on this button, we can see the different simple animations the students have got access to. So fade in, and it will stay there permanently until the slide moves on. Spin, zoom and spin, and fade in and fade out. We'll probably stick with that one. We've got some options with the font, so probably something quite bold. We've got some options with the color. So again, you just have to cycle through the limited choice of colors by tapping on the color drop icon. I think I'm going to stick with a brown or orange. That looks quite good. We can make the font bigger or smaller just by cycling through, so the students can add more text or less text as necessary. And finally, this button here on the left hand side shows where the orientation of the text is. Again, you have to cycle through, so bottom left, bottom right, top left, top right, and center, and those are the options. And when you're happy with all of that, you can just click on the tick and it'll be applied to that particular slide. In addition, if you click on the musical note over here on the right hand side, you can use music from your iTunes library, or the app comes pre-installed with music. There's no opportunity to actually select the volume, so if you use this in conjunction with the voiceover, I find that the voice and the music compete. But if you just want to do a background piece of music, there's some good stuff here that you can use. I'm not going to use that option, but if you want to choose any of those, you just click on it and it will be used for you. So now we're ready to start recording our audio, and we can slide between each slide by pressing the forward and back buttons, and so the students can just record as they go along. Once the students are ready to record, they simply press on the microphone down here and press on the start button. Click start recording, and it's now recording in 3, 2, 1. But look what happens on the left hand side at the top. This is quite interesting. So while the students are talking about what they see in the picture, if they click on the magic wand icon on the left here, they can now choose a pointer that they can point to on the picture and talk about various aspects of what they want to talk about in the picture in the particular order that they do, which is a great prompt for them, helps to scaffold them through that. There are some options here you can use, and the students I'm sure will choose them, but I quite like the finger icon here. And once you've recorded, you can pause the recording, and then I'm going to slide to the next slide. I can gather my thoughts, I can resume recording. My icons on the left-hand side with the magic wand come back. I can talk about sifting the flour or the sugar or whatever is in that picture there. And you can just keep scrolling through. Once the students have finished their recording and reached the final slide, they can save their work. So we're going to pause the button here and we're going to click save. And that is now being saved to the dashboard. We have an option here to share, but with the recent update to SeeSaw Learning, pressing on this SeeSaw app, the whole upload fails. So what we're going to do here is just click done. And we're now going to share this to our photo files. So I'm going to open up this one here that we've just saved, and I'm going to click in the top right hand corner here, and I want to save it to my camera roll. And I'm going to save it to the camera roll, and I can decide which size. I recorded it in 480p, so I'm going to save it in 480p. If you still have the SeeSaw class app, you can upload the content directly to SeeSaw, but now that with the SeeSaw Learning updated app, you have to do it a reversed way round. So I'm going to open up the SeeSaw app here. I'm already signed in as a student, and what the students need to do is they need to click on the add button here. They need to click on the upload function. They come to their photo library and they're allowed to upload one video. So I'm going to come to Puppet here, and I'm going to choose the Puppet tutorial that I want, which is that one we've been working on. Click on the tick and it uploads it. And now I can do additional recording if I need to, but as I've already uploaded a video, I don't need to do that. Once that's in place, we can now click on the tick. Choose the student, will just be, let's be Florence here, I think, and click tick. And now I'm going to put that into my topic folder and click tick. And that's now been uploaded and ready for review by the teacher. And so that's how you can share your work from Shadow Puppet up to SeeSaw, but you've got to come into SeeSaw in order to do that. So that's the workflow now, from content creation all the way through to publication on a tool like SeeSaw. Thanks for watching this Sharp Canane tutorial. Until the next time, ka kite anō.